race. Are you ready, Jessica, to do your top 5?
Should we do Stugotz's top 5 first, and then or should we do them like side by side?
I don't know, because I think they're all going to be the same, and I just think they're going to to be in a different order.
It's only a handful of teams.
Pretty good. My list is pretty good.
Yeah, but so is his, and I don't. We'll see. I guess we'll find out together. You go. Well, I don't think I can say who he has at 5 if it's not the same that you have as 5.
She has to give her 5, then you give what I wrote down.
Should we give it at the 1, 2, 3, and
let's just do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
When she does it, say if it's on Stu's list.
Okay.
Steve Martin. Number 5, the Ravens.
Not anywhere. Wow. Not anywhere on Stu's list.
You wrote off the Ravens?
Well, in Week 5, they lost to the Steelers. They actually lost both games against the Steelers this year. In that game, I think the final was 17-10. None of the receivers could catch a pass. It was a brutal game to watch. So I said, writing off the Ravens for the rest of the season.
Okay.
I think this is gonna be the theme, right? Anyone who loses to the Steelers, it's I'm sorry, I ruined it. I'm sorry.
Came out of the gate strong.
Can I
with the
revise
Ravens.
mine?
Well, what if the Steelers are on the list?
Number 4.
The Packers.
That's his number 4.
At number 4.
Nice. All right. Well, they were 2-5 at one point, and then they had a 4-game losing streak. They also lost to the Steelers in Week 9.
This is incredible. 40 years I've been a Jet fan waiting for a good quarterback. The Packers are about to have their 3rd consecutive decade of having a good quarterback. Jordan Love's really good.
That's correct.
Jesus.
I don't know if he's as good as those
Is he
other
really
two.
good or just good?
He had 32 touchdowns and 11 interceptions.
I think he's just good.
Well, either way, he's probably on the path to opening up his own freedom pack, given how the previous 2 went.
They have a very good offensive line too, which helps. Number 3.
Number 3, the Rams.
That's his number 3.
Wow! Oh my gosh! All right, well we're 2 for 3 right now, Stu. The Rams, they were on also a 3-game losing streak this season, and they actually lost in Week 7 to the Steelers. Thought they were done.
Mike, are you excited? Rams, Lions?
I'm excited.
That's a great one.
That's a great
I
one.
thought you were going to ask me if I was excited for something else, in which I'm not. Not at all.
What if Stafford wins the first Lions postseason game in 30 years?
His first game in Detroit, right? Playoff game.
You thought he was going to ask you if you're excited about the Browns.
Are they in?
Number 2.
Number 2, the Buccaneers. Big quarterback issue in the preseason. They actually lost to the Steelers preseason Week 1. It was a Kyle Trask, Baker Mayfield off. So the Bucs, I wrote them off.
And number 1?
The Steelers. They lost in Week 1, 30-7 to the 49ers. I wrote them off. They've had 3 different quarterbacks this season. TJ Watt is now probably not going to play. I don't really know what his status is, but he hurt his knee against the Ravens on Saturday. But Mike Tomlin, 10 wins. 10-win season for the Steelers. They're in the playoffs as a 7 seed.
Stugotz also had the Texans number 2 and the Bucs number 1.
They beat the Steelers.
Yeah. The Texans.
The Texans.
Yes. Which is why you
so
did
not
not
on
write
my
them
list.
off, right?
But the Bucs, he had the Bucs number 1. He did not have the Steelers, but I think most of us wrote the Steelers off, and now most of us expect nothing from the Steelers in the playoffs.
Pretty cool story, though, with Baker Mayfield, right?
Yes.
For the Bucs?
Yes.
Like a great story.
He has reinvented himself there after Cleveland chewed him up, and the physical.
And he found a crappy division. I mean, what are we talking about?
Yeah, he did. He's coming off of putting up 3 field goals in Carolina. But I'm
On
the
a
biggest
bum
Baker.
ankle.
He's
I
hurt
mean,
and
he
bum
was tough.
ribs, apparently.
Yeah.
He's always hurt. He's one of the toughest quarterbacks.
You have bum ribs?
I just don't like the narrative, though, like that yesterday, Todd Bowles gets to be in that locker room like he's a king. And you just play in a crappy division. And then guys like the Dolphins, the Eagles, with better records are feeling like shit.
They won the crappy division.
I'm just saying, it's
of
not
teams
fair.
Lose in crappy.
Mike's with me. Give me one division, 15 teams on each side.
It's a really
Let's
bad
go
division.
Europe with this.
That division's as bad as the AFC North is good, but I think in this run, if you look at the type of football that the Packers have played lately, the performance that Tampa had in Green Bay propelled them to this position, to hosting
and
a
that
playoff
was a game
game.
they scored 34 points in, correct? And Baker Mayfield has had some extraordinary games this season. And Stugotz, I really don't think that we cover nearly well enough how hard it must be to play that particular game and position if physically your body is something less than 100%.
Right.
Trevor Lawrence, that was not professional quarterback play in a game that I expected a quarterback who's a number 1 pick overall to win that football game against the Tennessee team that didn't have anything to play for but their beloved Vrabel.
I mean, that's what the Titans do, Dan.
But Trevor Lawrence clearly isn't physically right. Like, what's the last 6 weeks of the season? We can have a conversation about whether Trevor Lawrence is as good as he should be or not.
He's not.
But this incarnation, the last 6 weeks of Trevor Lawrence trying to get on the field through an assortment of stuff while other quarterbacks simply can't get on the field, Baker Mayfield's willingness to play all of the football games and be available is enough in that division to win the division.
On the other side of the injury argument, though, you got Tyreek Hill, who's had a bad ankle injury, quote unquote, for weeks, did a backflip after his touchdown last night. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, painkillers can do crazy things.
That is correct, but I would say the positions are different on how it is,
And it's cyclical because that offensive line for Jacksonville was so bad. It's a reason that he got hurt, and it's a reason why he had trouble getting healthy as the season progressed, just along the offensive and defensive line. And keep in mind, they have a former number 1 overall pick in Trayvon Walker on that defensive line. They screwed the pooch. And it makes it so that you can't even make a proper evaluation on the type of quarterback Trevor Lawrence can be. Is he the guy that we saw at the end of last year, or is he this guy now?
But that's what happened to Mayfield in Cleveland.
Yes.
You stopped with the evaluating, but his body was breaking.